been a good ride, several rides. I'll put these videos out. Didn't talk about a lot, but a few things important to me. You guys have been on this bump before many times. You know what a kidney buster it is. You get up on the pegs a little bit over this one. There we go. Here's another one. Boom. Oh boy. Let's see. We did about 60 miles today around town. Not too bad. I love that van. Oh, peace and love. Brings me back to the 60s. A fun time. A trouble time too. There was a lot of going on. A lot of stuff going on back then. Had a lot of sad memories about the war. Had a lot of good memories though. Had a lot of good music. Jeez. Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin. Wow, a lot of good music. Elvis was still hot. And then the Beatles happened. Woo! Wow, they took America by storm. They took the world by storm. Jeez. Man. That bring back some memories. I remember the girl I was running around with back then. The Beatles. They were hot back in the 60s. She was flaky over them. Don't get me wrong, I played in a band. I really enjoyed listening to them also. They were great. Just what a revolution in music. But I'll tell you what, she was flipped. I could have been in the room without any clothes on and she would have known I was there. When the Beatles came on, Ed Sullivan. But that was part of what was happening. I mean, we had a lot of good groups, man, back in the 60s, early 70s. I remember seeing Elvis, of course. And since I grew up in Denver, I made friends with a guy. I was working at Stapleton International Airport, Rocky Mountain Airways, when a young man flew in, a musician, songwriter. Young, he's older than I was, but he's young back then too. And I remember I was working on the tarmac then, and had the plane come in several times and got to know this guy. He'd take the plane, take a plane to Stapleton International, and then he would catch a puddle jumper to Aspen. And I fortunately was one of the guys that got to handle all his guitars and everything else, get them off, load them on. Road closed to through traffic. I hate this. And got to meet him. Know him pretty good. A young man. He wouldn't be a young man now. I think he was a couple years older than me. A few years, 3 or 4 years maybe. His name was John Denver. Really a phenomenon. What a guy that could write, sing, play. Lost a great one when he died. But that's the kind of music that I grew up with and loved. I mean, when John hit it big, I was let's see, out of high school probably. Then you had groups in the 60s like the Mamas and the Papas, Creedence. See, John Fogerty, I've seen him several times. There's another guy that's fantastic musician, songwriter. Wow. There were just so many greats back in the 60s that, and early 70s, Three Dog Night, I remember seeing them when they came to town. Man, I love their harmonies. Wow. Chuck Negron, man, that boy could sing. But, I like some of the English stuff. I liked, back in the 60s, Jerry and the Pacemakers, Herman's Hermits, Dave Clark 5. Lulu. Petula Clark. Bunches of them. I remember it was kind of a war for a while between the British invasion and people trying to make music in the States. I mean, when the British came, they invaded the world. They invaded the country of music. And it was some good stuff too. Got the kids jumping, I remember I was still into Ricky Nelson when they came along. Elvis. They changed the music scene for sure. Time flies when you're having fun. It certainly does. It's another fine mess you've gotten me into, Stanley. About classic comedy, Laurel and Hardy, Groucho Marx and the Marx Brothers, the Three Stooges. Wow, Milton Berle. George Burns and Gracie Allen. We're not going to sit here. We're going to go through all this gravel down here, folks. Look at this mess. Scatty stuff. Wow, Jackie Gleason and the Honeymooners. What's My Line? The Gary Moore Show. I think what I'm probably saying is over a lot of your heads. You've never heard of him. Wouldn't know what I'm talking about. But there may be a few of you old guys out there and gals that it may ring a bell to. And classics are classics. I mean, they're good to watch anytime. I mean, they just seem to be ageless. Let me get my last little run at it here. about it, YouTubers, for today. We'll catch you all later. Wishing myself and my wife a happy 39th anniversary today. I hope we get to share a few more together. The Lord's sure been kind to us. Talk to y'all later. Bye.